When you're deciding on the amount of ribbon to use in your Christmas tree, consider the height. This is about a 7.5 foot Christmas tree, and because I'm not planning on doing a whole lot of ribbon on it and making too much of the look of the tree just with ribbon, I'm going to use probably about maybe 50 feet. If you decide to do lots and lots of waves of ribbon, for a 7-foot tree, probably about 70 feet of ribbon. On my website I have a picture of a tree that I did with lots and lots of layers of ribbon, and that was actually close to 200 feet of ribbon, so it just kind of depends on your look that you're going for. The first thing that I'm going to start with is the ribbon. So I think the ribbon I'm going to do on this tree is just going to kind of cascade and bubble out around the tree. If you have pets or kids that might pull on the ribbon, I suggest attaching it with wire in each location, but I'm just going to kind of tuck it into the tree, which is also easier for artificial trees, which this is. If you have a real Christmas tree, it probably works better to attach it with wire in each spot that you have the ribbon tucked into the tree, because real trees tend to settle as the season goes on and your ribbon might just kind of fall off the tree, so that's something to consider also. So I'm kind of just scrunching the ribbon in different spots and just tucking it right into the tree. Also, something to note, if your Christmas tree will be against a wall or in a corner, something you can do to save money on ribbon, because sometimes ribbon can be expensive, is just simply skip the back. So that's one way you can kind of save a little bit of money and still get the look that you want. So now that I've reached the bottom of the tree, with my first spiral, I'm just going to use my scissors and cut off the end. Because I have a tough spot where the ribbon doesn't want to stay very well, I'm going to use some wire just to kind of hold it in place to one of the branches. Just kind of stand back, take a look, see if it looks even. So adding floral picks to your Christmas tree is one way of giving it kind of a more unique look and adding a little bit more level of detail, possibly a different evergreen look to your tree than the evergreen type your tree is. And in this case, add some kind of metallic and glitter. These are actually, weren't purchased as floral picks, but actually as a garland. It was actually cheaper to buy a garland and cut it up to make my own picks than it was to actually buy each individual pick, so that's what I did with these. There are many different ways to putting these picks into your Christmas tree. The look that I prefer most of the time is kind of angled downward. But when you get closer to the top of the tree, you kind of split and angle them upwards. So I'd say from about here up, I have the picks kind of facing upward, but from here down, I have the picks in the tree facing downward. Next, I'm going to start adding some of the ornaments to the tree. I usually like to start with all of the same size ornaments or all the same color of ornaments, just to make sure they're evenly distributed on the Christmas tree. If you still have some large open gaps in your Christmas tree, I usually like to leave those open so that when we put the larger ornaments on the tree, they have a nice spot to go. Next, I'm going to add these charcoal colored and chocolate colored ornaments to the tree. They're slightly larger than the ones that we put on before. And every once in a while, step back just to make sure you have them evenly distributed and just to kind of get a look at the tree and plan for future ornaments that you may want to put on the tree. I've started adding some of these silk magnolia blossoms to the tree just to kind of add in some of the white, because we're going to start adding in the white of the color scheme. So basically these ones are just kind of clipping onto the tree. If you get the ones that have the stem, you can just probably cut the stem a little bit shorter and just tuck them into the tree. I've decided to have these flowers kind of fade out towards the center of the tree, just so it's kind of mostly as the topper. Next I'm going to add a few stripes of this more ornate ribbon just to kind of mix into the tree and add a little bit more elegant look. And here's the finished product. Thanks for watching, and for more holiday and home ideas, visit my website, christopherheidemann.com.